Right, you lot, and it is time for the top 10 worst people of 2025. I always love this video, where we can look back on all of the people that fucked up and did ridiculous stuff. These lists are not very light-hearted, are they? It's mostly just like paedophiles, rapists, and just the worst human beings. And some idiots on the internet, usually, that make up these lists. Now, very early on, I'm going to make it very clear who will not be on this list. Now, because it would be so boring. You know, I've done political-based videos before. There will not be any politicians on this list. So Donald Trump is not on the list. Benjamin Netanyahu, not on the list. Keir Starmer, not on the list. Nobody like that. I can't even put RFK Jr. on the list. You know how much I despise the man. But so no one political. And I've also tried to stay away from like people who would only be on the list because of their involvement in politics or stuff that they've done. So like, you won't see Tommy Robinson, aka Yaxley Lennon, on the list. You won't see the guys from Kneecap or the guys from Bob Vylan on the list. You know, this goes to the two extremes. I've upset loads of people there with that one comment, but you know, it's what it is. So yeah, there are people on the list who may like be connected to politics or have, you know, political reasons, but they're not on the list strictly because of their politics. There's other reasons, obviously. Really boring to just sit here and say all the politicians who lied this year or the people committed war crimes. There's a mix of like serious stuff here and also a bit of comedy thrown in with some of these people. So yeah, let's get on with the list. The number 10 worst person of the year is Jack. Now, good riddance, he finally got arrested, so you could argue he's one of the best people because we don't have to hear from him anymore. This guy is like Jake Paul, but 10 times worse. He's desperate, he's obnoxious, he constantly puts people in danger, he makes a joke out of everything. He's a threat to society in like almost so many ways, it's not even funny. I'm so glad he's finally been arrested. He should have been taken off the internet about 5 years ago, the same time Jay Station was wiped off for his dodgy content. I cannot stand Jack Doherty. I don't know anyone who can. It's bad because I feel like his only audience are young, impressionable kids. And he's just promoting this awful stuff constantly. And yeah, he's a horrific human being. And I had to put him on the list. But good riddance, he's in jail. I don't know if he's been let out yet. I don't really follow it, but yeah. Okay, 9th place I've gone for Nicki Minaj. Now, I'm not putting Nicki Minaj on this list because she's turned to MAGA recently. I'm putting her on the list because of how, like, inauthentic and how desperate this comes off of. Can we stop letting people do this? It's the Russell Brand playbook of, you get accused of really awful stuff or, like, there's controversies around you. You go, like, quite right-wing and, like, start hanging out with MAGA people and try and claim that you're being cancelled and stuff, even though you were being taken down for quite, like, realistic reasons, Nicki. Like, Bigfoot was a terrible song, and you were glorifying Tory Lanez and siding with fucking Tory Lanez just to get back at Megan Thee Stallion. You've got, like, a rapist husband and a rapist uncle who the only reason you're trying to get goody two-shoes and MAGA is so that maybe the president will pardon your dodgy people in your family. It's desperate, it's obvious, we know what you're doing, and I wish people would see right through it. Come on, do you really believe that Nicki Minaj is MAGA? Like, I'm sorry, right, you know when Trump will bring out people and say, they're an amazing comedian, man, they're real comedy, or like, he brings, even when he did it with the YMCA guys, like, they're an iconic song. There is no way that Trump will ever, like, announce a Nicki Minaj song at a rally. That can't happen. That wouldn't work. Yeah, Super Bass is one of my favourite tracks. Like, no. What is Nicki's plan here? It's almost pathetic, and it's not going to work, and it's just desperate to save a career that is already on the toilet after Pink Friday 2 and Bigfoot. In 8th place is Giovanni Infantino. Didn't I say this list wasn't political? Giovanni Infantino is a man who I'm not even convinced likes football. He's the president of FIFA, who when he came into FIFA, claimed he was going to erase all of the corruption in FIFA. He's given World Cups to Qatar, and this year there was this really dodgy system where the 6 countries hosting the 2030 World Cup, which was only a ploy to get Saudi Arabia to have the 2034 one unopposed. We can see right through you, Giovanni Infantino, and your weird FIFA Peace Prize. I mean, that's a whole video in itself, but the whole ordeal, the draw was atrocious. This guy is just ruining football. He's more corrupt than UEFA somehow. And you said you were going to get rid of all of the corruption, and you're giving out people participation trophies, peace prizes. God. They're not all related to the president. The next one is, though. Coming in 7th place is the annual mention of Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk, every year he does something that pisses me off. He was #1 last year, this year he's only 7th. I did a Nazi salute on live TV at an inauguration, which everyone kind of forgot about. I did a video about it, a lot of people had a go at me for it. Was it a salute? I've done the debate 1,000 times, but come on. It wasn't his brightest moment, was it? He paid people to play a video game for him, and then got all salty when they realised that he wasn't actually good at the game. He came into the US cabinet, said that he was going to save all this money, rat out all this stuff, and all he did was just questionable stuff that got him fired in about a month. Him and Trump had a whole beef, and then Elon went to try and expose him, and then pussied out of the war and deleted his tweets. That was pathetic. I mean, if you're going to go for it, but he pulled out. Like, it was as bad as J. Cole in the Drake and Kendrick feud. So he's a national embarrassment in so many reasons, and he's not fixed Twitter. Twitter's as bad as ever. I'm still not calling it X, mate. You're not going to make me. He's still an awful father. All the reasons I've disliked him in the past. He's a man-child who I don't really know how he has as much money as he has. People were burning Cybertrucks earlier in the year. I didn't condone that. But, like, if anyone deserves it, he's top on that list. Talking to people who deserve things to be burnt, Ellen DeGeneres is 6th. The worst thing about Trump winning isn't any of his policies, isn't anything to do with the man. It's the fact that Ellen moved to the UK. No, she lives like about an hour and a half away from me. I'm so upset about that fact. This year, more allegations came out about how rude and how awful she was to people. There's years of back catalogue of misconduct and abuse she's just given in the workplace. She seems a nightmare to work with. And it's this disillusionment, it's the lack of accountability. I despise Ellen DeGeneres, and every year she seems to get worse, and she had to get a placement on the list. Okay, 5th is the annual mention of Andrew Tate. He got charged with sex trafficking and rape this year. They almost let him out, and then he went back to prison. I mean, are people still listening to this man? He had a boxing fight the other day, and he lost. Excuse me? Like, he claims to be all that, and he lost to some random influencer. Can we just, like, end Andrew Tate, please? It's just an amalgamation. And talking of Andrew Tate, coming in 4th place is Sneako and the whole Red Pill influencer movement. All of these guys. It is a shame that we live in a society where men do not have role models, that we have to rely on people like Sneako. If you get your worldviews, your self-belief, if you need motivation from someone like Sneako, it's really your fault. When they're hanging around like Nazis, the worst people on the planet, it's just time and time again, they're just embarrassing. I cannot stand them, everything they stand for, the movement as a whole, and I think we need to eradicate them. It's not going to happen, is it? They only keep getting strong. Okay, 3rd place, we've got the former Prince, Andrew. He spent millions of taxpayers' money just to strip a title from a man and put him in a slightly worse home, in a home that's 10 times better than anywhere I ever live. We all know what you did, Andrew. You should probably face the death penalty. I've never been opposed to the death penalty, but if there's one man that I'd give it to, it's this man, because, I mean, the Epstein files, that's been the big storyline of the year. They've dropped, but they're hiding about 1 million words. Come on. He's as guilty as a 4-year-old when they take chocolate from the cupboard. We know what you've done, Andrew. I think even he admits it at this point. He's not a prince. He's got to find Aladdin's lamp to wish to be a prince again.
Genie, I wish for you to make me a prince.
Over. But millions were paid in this case. Millions were paid by the Queen to protect him. This went on, and you got to think what all that money could have done to change the world. Instead, we were doing a case of an obvious paedophile. It's frustrating, the climax to Andrew. The runner-up is Ye. I'm sorry, but Ye West is just a national embarrassment on so many facets. I already talked about him on my worst songs of the year, when I told you about the Cousins song and the World War III. This guy went on a whole Twitter rant for a few days, where he just outright started being a Nazi again and just said some of the worst things you can ever imagine. Like, there's free speech, and then there's just, like, what Ye was doing. But the problem is, it's all trolling. It's all rage bait, and you cannot help but fall for it. You cannot help but engage with it and find it hilarious. This man's having a crash out. He burnt all his bridges, to the point that even someone like Dave Blunt's cut ties with him. Dave Blunt's the least serious man on the planet. You saw him hanging around with Sneeko and the Red Pill lot from earlier. And now he's apologised to a rabbi and is trying to savour any career that he had left and wants to win back faith. Because he realises it's a bit hard to be an open Nazi in 2025. I'm sorry, I don't have an ounce of sympathy for Ye, and I don't think you should either. I'm absolutely appalled at this man. Everything he stands for, really. And I do not for 1 minute believe his bullshit. Okay, now before we get to number one, I've got a couple honourable mentions. Russell Brand and P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy Combs, whatever you want to call them. They're both honourable mentions because most of their crimes and all like the big stories around them was last year. And this year they've just kind of been done in Jack Doherty style. And thank God, good riddance. The damage they've caused, we know what they're about. But, you know, we had the documentary come out and see all this bad stuff like Diddy. But we kind of all knew this already. I think it'd be redundant to talk about him again when most of it was just last year. I've also put David Coote on the list. The guy who went down the Philip Schofield mark of trying to get sympathy back like it was gay, only for it to be revealed he had child pornography in his group chats. So it didn't really work out for David Coote in the end, and thank God he's no longer a referee because he's bloody terrible. Mr. Beast, he's opened a theme park. I miss 2019 Mr. Beast when it was genuinely like a down on his luck guy, genuinely doing good things to give people money. Now it feels he likes watching the demise of people. He's getting bigger and bigger. He's one step away from just like AIing himself into the videos and not even showing up. It's lost all personality, all soul. The videos get worse year on year. He has an odd good one, but it's way too much. I don't even think... It's just sad seeing what the man has become. When you're opening a theme park, it just shows the way the world works, doesn't it? And my final honourable mention is Andy Byron. If you don't know who this is the man, the CEO, who cheated and was caught at a Coldplay concert. If you're going to cheat, if you're going to be a cheater, don't get caught. They were idiots because the camera goes on them, right? If you don't react, no one knows who you are, Andy. You ain't the Queen, right? So all Andy had to do was just like play like it was normal, you know, and no one would have ever posted the video anywhere, and he could have got away with it, possibly. But no, instead, they ran away and hid like fucking little girls on Halloween, and it was embarrassing. They're clowns, so I almost feel bad for them. But if we're doing Clown of the Year, top of the list he is. And the number one worst person of the year is David. Or D4 did. This guy was a pretty cool up-and-coming artist. Until this year we found out he's a paedophile and a murderer. It's true, by the way. I'm not exaggerated. Now, before we even, like, get to, like, the murder case, okay, nothing's confirmed. Okay, innocent until proven guilty, but we know for a fact that David was associated as, like, a 20-odd-year-old bloke with a 12-year-old. That on its own deserves to be number one. The fact that he was pretty much in a relationship and hanging about with a 12-year-old all the time, which was found dead in his car, is horrific, it's evil, it's sick, and unfortunately any credibility, any credit in the bank he had in his career has gone like the Titanic, down. David is gross, appalling. The fact I used to like some of this guy's music, we know exactly what he did. We know who he is now. And, yeah, somehow I didn't think anyone would beat Ye. But David's done it. Because all you can say about Ye is that he hasn't killed a man yet. I will see you lot soon. Goodbye.